for Fast and the Furious 2001. The movie immerses audiences into the vibrant and adrenaline-fueled world of underground street racing in Los Angeles. The scene is set amidst the nocturnal backdrop of the city, where the underground racing culture thrives. The audience is introduced to the clandestine gatherings of street racers, where modified cars and their skilled drivers gather to compete in high-speed races. The atmosphere is electric, pulsating with the roar of engines, screeching tires, and the thrill of illegal racing. Brian Spillner, a young and ambitious outsider, enters this world with the intention of proving himself as a talented racer. His initial encounter with Dominic Toretto, a revered figure in the racing circuit, sets the stage for their interactions and the central conflict of the story. This introduction serves as a fast-paced immersion into the heart of the street racing subculture. It sets the tone for the movie, presenting the audience with the thrill of the racing scene and laying the groundwork for the relationships, conflicts, and intrigue that will unfold as the story progresses. The audience is captivated by the high-octane energy and introduced to the key characters, sparking curiosity about the deeper layers of this underground world. In the first chapter, the movie introduces audiences to the thrilling world of underground street racing in Los Angeles. It sets the tone for the film's high-speed adrenaline rush and introduces key characters. Viewers witness the clandestine gatherings where car enthusiasts and racers congregate, showcasing their souped-up vehicles and competitive spirit. The scene is vibrant, filled with neon lights, roaring engines, and an electric atmosphere. The focus is on the visceral experience of the race, the revving engines, the screeching tires, and the speed as cars tear through the streets. The audience is plunged into this subculture, feeling the intensity and passion that drive these racers. Amidst the chaos of the racing scene, we're introduced to Brian Spillner, an outsider who enters this world, eager to prove himself as a skilled racer. His encounter with Dominic Toretto, a legendary figure in the racing circuit, sets the stage for their later interactions and the central conflict of the story. This chapter establishes the foundation of the film, immersing viewers in the heart-pounding excitement of street racing, while introducing the characters and setting up the intrigue and dynamics that will unfold as the story progresses. In the second chapter, the movie delves into Brian Spillner's undercover mission as an LAPD officer, aiming to infiltrate the underground racing world. Brian is determined to investigate a series of truck hijackings, suspected to be connected to the racing scene. He strategically integrates himself into the racing community, attempting to gain trust and credibility among the racers, particularly within the close-knit crew led by Dominic Toretto. Brian's initial encounters with Dominic's crew members, including his sister Mia, start to blur the lines between his professional duties and personal connections. Throughout this chapter, the audience witnesses Brian's struggle as he navigates a dual identity, balancing his role as a law enforcement officer with the growing relationships he forms within the racing community. He's drawn to the camaraderie and sense of family within Dominic's crew, which complicates his mission. The tension rises as Brian's investigation progresses, raising suspicions within the crew and creating internal conflicts for Brian. His increasing closeness to Dominic's sister Mia adds emotional complexity to the situation, challenging his loyalties and intensifying the dilemma he faces between duty and personal connections. Chapter 2 sets the stage for the moral dilemmas Brian encounters as he immerses himself deeper into Dominic's world while maintaining his undercover identity, leading to a mounting internal struggle that will shape the story's direction. For in Chapter 3, tension escalates within the underground racing world, intensifying the rivalries between different street racing groups. The core conflict revolves around Dominic Toretto's crew and their interactions with rival racers, setting the stage for a web of strained relationships and heightened emotions. The increasing suspicion surrounding Brian's true identity fuels the rising tension between him and Dominic, leading to strained interactions within the crew. Dominic becomes more cautious, sensing that there might be a hidden agenda behind Brian's involvement in their circle. Simultaneously, clashes erupt between Dominic's crew and other racing groups vying for dominance in the underground scene. Competition becomes more aggressive, and the stakes are higher as each group seeks to assert its superiority on the streets. Amidst the growing hostility and rivalries, Brian's internal conflict becomes more pronounced. He grapples with the ethical dilemma of deceiving the people he's grown close to while trying to maintain his cover and fulfill his duty as an undercover officer. This chapter heightens the emotional intensity, showcasing the fraying relationships, deepening suspicions, and escalating conflicts within the racing community. It lays the groundwork for the collision of loyalties and the impending confrontations that will shape the story's direction. In Chapter 4, the movie portrays an escalation in criminal activities within the context of the street racing world. The film accentuates the growing seriousness of the situation as truck hijackings and illegal activities continue to plague the city. The occurrences of truck hijackings become more frequent and brazen, raising concerns not just within the racing community, but also among law enforcement agencies. This escalation prompts heightened investigations and efforts to uncover the culprits behind these crimes. The clashes between Dominic Toretto's crew and rival racing groups intensify, contributing to an atmosphere of heightened tension and aggression. The quest for dominance in the underground scene fuels a cycle of escalating conflicts and reckless behavior. Brian's internal struggle deepens as the stakes increase. He faces mounting pressure from both sides of his double life. The loyalty he's formed with Dominic's crew, conflicting with his obligations as an undercover officer, tasked with exposing the criminal activities. Throughout this chapter, the film paints a picture of an increasingly volatile environment, highlighting the consequences of unchecked criminal activities intertwined with the high-octane world of street racing. The narrative builds towards a climax, foreshadowing the inevitable collision of loyalties and the resolution of the escalating crimes. In Chapter 5, pivotal revelations come to light, challenging loyalties and reshaping the dynamics within the underground racing world. The storyline reaches a critical turning point as secrets are uncovered, leading to a clash of trust and allegiance among the characters. Brian's true identity as an undercover officer is exposed, causing a rift between him and Dominic Toretto, the central figure in the racing community. This revelation shakes the foundation of the relationships Brian has forged within Dominic's crew, leaving them questioning his intentions and loyalty. Simultaneously, revelations about the culprits behind the truck hijackings and their deeper criminal connections begin to unravel. The truth behind the escalating crimes starts to surface, unveiling a web of deceit and betrayal that goes beyond what was initially perceived. Themes of loyalty, betrayal, and trust take center stage as the characters grapple with the consequences of these revelations. Dominic and his crew are faced with the harsh reality of deception from someone they considered a part of their family, adding emotional weight to the conflict. Brian, torn between his duty to the law and the relationships he's formed, finds himself in a moral quandary. He seeks to make amends and regain trust while pursuing justice, but the fractures in loyalty within the group may be irreparable. Chapter 5 marks a critical moment in the story, showcasing the impact of unveiled truths on relationships, the shifting alliances, and the internal conflicts characters face as they navigate through a world where loyalties are tested to their limits. In Chapter 6, the movie builds towards a high-stakes climax, culminating in a dramatic showdown that brings together the rival factions within the underground racing world. Tensions have reached a boiling point, setting the stage for a decisive and intense confrontation. The narrative intensifies as the rival racing groups, including Dominic Toretto's crew and their adversaries, converge in a high-stakes racing event. This event serves as the backdrop for the ultimate face-off, where rivalries are brought to the forefront and conflicts are on the verge of erupting. The stakes are at their highest as the race unfolds, with the adrenaline-fueled competition mirroring the underlying tensions and conflicts between the factions. High-speed chases, skillful maneuvers, and heart-stopping moments drive the intensity of the showdown. The atmosphere is charged with emotion, reflecting the culmination of the characters' arcs and the culmination of their struggles. Brian, grappling with his internal conflicts, seeks to navigate through the chaos to reconcile his duties and allegiances while maintaining a semblance of justice. The high-stakes showdown becomes a battleground, not only on the racing track, but also for the characters' moral choices and resolutions. It's a defining moment that will determine the outcomes of the conflicts, the characters' fates, and the resolution of the story's central conflicts. Chapter 6 marks the pinnacle of tension and action, leading to a climactic sequence that brings together the film's themes of loyalty, betrayal, and the consequences of choices made in the fast-paced world of street racing and crime. In Chapter 7, the movie navigates through the aftermath of the high-stakes showdown, focusing on the resolution of conflicts and the characters' paths toward redemption. This chapter offers closure to the intense conflicts that have unfolded throughout the story. The dust settles after the dramatic events of the showdown, and the characters are left to grapple with the consequences of their actions. Emotions are raw as they come to terms with the fallout, seeking closure and redemption amidst the chaos. Brian, having revealed his true identity and faced the repercussions, seeks to make amends for his actions. He aims to reconcile with Dominic, Mia, and the rest of the crew, attempting to rebuild trust and mend fractured relationships. Dominic and the crew confront their feelings of betrayal and the reality of the situation. They navigate through the conflicting emotions, weighing the complexities of forgiveness and understanding against the breach of trust they experienced. Themes of redemption, forgiveness, and second chances come to the forefront as the characters reflect on the journey they've been through. The resolution isn't just about tying loose ends, but also about finding closure and moving forward from the turbulent events. Ultimately, Chapter 7 brings a sense of closure to the conflicts and story arcs, allowing the characters to find redemption and paving the way for new beginnings. It encapsulates the themes of forgiveness and growth, highlighting the resilience of the human spirit even in the face of adversity. In the conclusion, the movie takes a moment for reflection, allowing the characters and the audience to contemplate the journey they've undertaken throughout the film. It serves as a narrative pause, providing closure and insight into the characters' growth and the impact of the events that transpired. Characters reflect on the tumultuous experiences they've faced, contemplating the lessons learned and the changes they've undergone. There's a sense of introspection as they reckon with their actions, decisions, and the consequences of their choices. The audience is offered a glimpse into the characters' futures, showcasing how the events of the story have shaped their paths. Some may find solace in redemption, while others may continue to grapple with the repercussions of their actions. Themes of growth, resilience, and the capacity for change are highlighted in this concluding phase. The characters' reflections offer closure, depicting a sense of acceptance and resolution. As they move forward from the tumultuous events, departure signifies a new beginning for the characters. They step into the future, having learned from their experiences, carrying the weight of their past while also embracing the opportunities for a fresh start. Ultimately, the conclusion provides a sense of closure to the story, allowing the characters to depart from the tumultuous events with a newfound understanding, resilience, and hope for the future. It serves as a reflective moment that brings the narrative to a satisfying close, leaving the audience with a sense of fulfillment and resolution.